So CNN is back to their old tricks. What I'm referring to is how they utterly make stuff up around elections to try to bend the perception of Americans to back their preferred candidates. So Chris Cillizza, however you say it, is a joke. I have no idea how he has a job. He, time and time again, he has the most banal takes or the dumbest takes, depending on the day. He's either saying something painfully obvious that doesn't even need to be said, or he's saying something insanely incorrect. And the entire time, he plays this like affable, goofy guy character, but in reality, he's just a dumbass. I know I'm being hard on him, but it's merited. So, here we have Chris Cillizza and Harry Enton's definitive 2020 Democratic candidate power rankings. So first, let me show you my tweet because I'm a narcissist. I said, just so we're clear, this is utterly made up and backed by zero empirical data. And now, take a look at the list. I'm correct. So they have number 1, Kamala Harris. Number 2, Beto O'Rourke. Number 3, Joe Biden. Number 4, Elizabeth Warren. Number 5, Cory Booker. Number 6, Sherrod Brown. Number 7, Bernie Sanders. Number 8, Kirsten Gillibrand. Number 9, Amy Klobuchar. Number 10, Julian Castro. By the way, Tulsi Gabbard is missing from the list. I guarantee you, there's not a doubt in my mind that Tulsi Gabbard will get more votes than Amy Klobuchar and Julian Castro. There's not a doubt in my mind. She may triple or quadruple the amount of votes that Amy Klobuchar gets and Julian Castro gets, respectively. They just left her off the list. Their bias oozes through, man. There was a great comparison. So for the Kamala Harris section, in the little bio that they put for Kamala Harris, they explain it would be historic. First female president, first female minority president. History! Yes. Tulsi Gabbard, female, minority, Hindu American. They didn't put any of that. They put anti-gay, even though it was in the past that she was anti-gay. Now, you can criticize that, but be intellectually honest. Don't lie. Don't be disingenuous and pretend like she's still anti-gay. And they put Assad apologist. So if you don't want to go to war in Syria, you're an Assad apologist. Same shit they did with Saddam Hussein in 2002. Oh, you don't want to go to war against Saddam Hussein? Saddam apologist. Why do you think Saddam did nothing wrong? She called Assad a brutal dictator. She called him a brutal dictator. Doesn't matter. Assad apologist. It's obvious that the establishment hates her because she bucks foreign policy orthodoxy on Syria and because she stood up to the DNC and backed Bernie Sanders. That's why they hate Tulsi Gabbard. That's not to say there aren't legitimate criticisms of Tulsi Gabbard. I made them. I think her comments on torture are unforgivable. That's a legitimate criticism. What they do is not legitimate. And they literally just bias everything. That's why they say Kamala Harris would be historic, but Tulsi Gabbard wouldn't, even though they're both minority women. It's unbelievable. They're terrible. So they just leave her off the, I don't know, fuck her. Leave her off the list. Tulsi who? I don't even know who that is. Richard Ojeda off the list. Leave him off the list. I guarantee you he's going to overperform from what the establishment says. I don't know how far he's going to go. Let me be clear. But I guarantee you he's going to overperform from what the establishment thinks. Richard Ojeda will get more votes than Amy Klobuchar. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. If she runs. Guaranteed. So, it's not based on anything. What poll are they pointing to? Kamala Harris, number 1. What poll? Give me one poll that has her number 1. You can't do it because it doesn't fucking exist. It doesn't exist. The reason why they keep pushing her is because female minority candidate plus, and here's the important part, establishment backed. So this way they get to have somebody who continues the status quo while at the same time they have a weapon they could always use against you where if you criticize her, you must be racist and sexist. It's got to be it. Even though you're giving me specific policy reasons why I don't agree with her, it's got to be because you're racist and sexist. Oh, you don't like the fact that she defended solitary confinement? She defended the 3 strikes law? You don't like the fact that she fought to keep an innocent man in jail even after a federal judge said he was innocent and she tried to keep him in jail on a technicality? You don't like the fact that she backed civil asset forfeiture? You don't like the fact that she laughed at the idea of legal marijuana in 2012 or 2014? You don't like that? Well, you probably hate her just because she's a minority woman. They have Beto O'Rourke at number 2, man. They put Cory Booker and Sherrod Brown ahead of Bernie Sanders. They put Cory Booker ahead of Bernie Sanders. Let me repeat that. They put Cory Booker ahead of Bernie Sanders. That is so utterly and shamelessly made up that you should be fired. Because you're simply not doing your job properly. You're just not doing your job properly. It's like you get a math test and you're asked what 2 plus 2 is and you say 22. You put the 2 and the 2 together and you got 22. It's not even going to be close. Bernie Sanders is going to obliterate Cory Booker in a way that will make everybody laugh. Listen, all I ask of them is to not cynically and disingenuously shape public opinion as they pretend like they're just calling balls and strikes. That's the thing about this that drives me nuts. As they're actively trying to shape public opinion into backing their preferred candidates, they're pretending like, who, us? No, we're just doing fucking standard, just an objective list about what the empirical data shows about who's in the lead. That's just not true. And anybody who looks at the polls can tell you that. And by the way, any election expert who actually understands what's happening in the country right now, they would all know, all right, listen, you got to favor the more anti-establishment candidates, the more anti-corruption candidates, the more populist candidates. These are the candidates who are going to do the best. And anybody who's in touch with the mood in the country can 100% tell you that. Instead, they inverted that list. They literally put Bernie Sanders as number 7, when in most polls he's number 1. And they left off Tulsi and Ojeda. Oh, God, what is wrong with us, man? What is wrong with CNN? They are a propaganda network. That's what they are. They're going to lie to you time and time and time again, and you're going to have to come here to get the truth. I should be thanking them because they just leave a market wide open for people who actually care about the real world to look for better sources. And we are that source, even though I'm a fucking political commentator, even though I have an opinion. But at least I tell you up front what my opinion is. They pretend like they have no opinion and they pretend like they have no bias when they're the most biased and they're the most opinionated, and their bias is in favor of an unpopular position like the establishment is awesome. So go ahead. You keep fucking up. You keep making stuff up, and people will keep coming to us because we tell them the truth.